Hi everyone, and welcome to the channel Brains and Beauty. I'm a PhD student studying brains and also a beauty lover, and on my channel I focus on creative conscious consumerism. Part of that is doing monthly themed shop my stashes. So each month I have a certain theme. It can be like a fantasy theme, like I did the Queen, or it can be like a type of style, like I did a gothic style. But with that theme in mind, I go through my collection and I shop my stash and choose one product from each of the color cosmetic categories that fits the theme so that I end up with like this minimalistic makeup collection to play with for the month. Now last month I had the theme of a mermaid. So I will list the whole Shop My Stash playlist up above so you can catch up on those, but for the first half of this video, I'm going to be talking about my experience with these products, like a speed reviews for the products I played with for the mermaid theme. And then for the second half of the video, I'm going to tell you about the next theme for the next month and then also choose the products for that theme. So let's just get started because the mermaid month was quite a few products. So I'm going to try to really speed through these. I'm going to start off with the blush. The huge pan in it is because I had it in my project pan last year, and so I definitely used it in 2021 way more than I used it during this month because it was in my project pan for like the whole year. So I used it last year 100 times, and in this month I used it 7 times, which I'm actually surprised by because like warm colors like this, I usually don't tend to gravitate towards. Like whenever I do blue, green eye looks that were, the colors this month, I usually go for like a cool tone pink blush. But I kind of surprised myself with that I like actually used this quite a bit this month as a peachy blush. It really did still go with these colors. So I am pretty happy that that worked out. The highlighter that I used this month was the Fenty Beauty Diamond Balm Highlighter in How Many Carats. And as you can see, there's quite a nice pan in this now. So I think I actually hit pan in this. I'm not sure if there was like a tiny bit of pan before, but I feel like I really noticed that I was really able to clear out the center during this month. Now I used this 5 times in April, and in 2021 I used it 7 times. One thing that I kind of noticed this month or learned about it this month is that if the base underneath it is not set, it can pick up on like the base underneath. So if I had this on my inner corner and I had like previously put a color corrector down on my inner corner, it could lift up the color corrector if I wasn't careful. So that was something to note, but if I did set the like color corrector or concealer that was on my inner corner, then going with it on top with this was totally fine. So that was something that I noticed this month, but I think I did only use it 5 times because it was kind of battling with the iridescent shadows in my palette because I only really wanted to go in with this if I was going in with it both on the cheeks and the inner corner. So if I went in with one of these iridescent shadows on the inner corner, I didn't feel as compelled to grab for the highlighter. I don't think that really says anything about it. I actually really do love this highlighter. It gives a really beautiful wet sparkly effect on the cheeks, and I had fun playing with it, but I do think I could have used it more if I didn't have other iridescent eyeshadows that were always in my inner corner. Next we have the Catrice Dewy Prime and Fine Setting Spray. So I used this 6 times in April, and I think the one thing that I kind of realized more about this is that it's actually not that dewy. This was something that I bought based off of Taylor Wynn's recommendation. I remember she used to like rave about this, and then for the short period of time that Ulta was available to Canadians, I was able to grab this, but I don't think it's like too dewy, and honestly it's kind of sticky. So I'm starting to feel like I wouldn't mind just panning this. It's not bad, but it's not what I want to have in this like part of my collection. I just want a truly dewy setting spray for like moments where I want a dewy cheek, because most, or actually all of my products are powder cheek products. So if I ever want to like dewify something, or I want it to look like I put on a cream product instead of like a powder matte product, I like to have something that can go on dewy on the cheeks. So yeah, I mean, I don't have too much of this in here, but yeah, I could see myself panning this so that I can get a different dewy setting spray. Now I did only use it 6 times this month, and I used it 10 times in the 2021 year. But I actually used this 5 times in March, and so in total this year I've used it more than last year because now it's 11 times. I used it a lot in March because I was trying to thin out the concealer and green color corrector combo that I'm panning in my Tarnis and Cream project pan. So yeah, I am getting use out of this. I just wanted to focus this month on like figuring out if it really was dewy enough for me, and I don't think this is dewy enough for me yet. So that's good to know. All right, this primer. Okay, so I used this only twice in April. Yeah, this primer, I think I'm going to have to declutter it. I had it rolled in the Queen month, and I remember being like, oh yeah, I think it broke me out, but I still wasn't entirely sure. I thought maybe I just didn't like wash my face, like I didn't scrub my face to get it off like properly enough, but I did scrub my face this month and it still broke me out. So I was like, you know what, I don't think I want to really use this on my face. I did want to test the claim of whether it like made makeup waterproof. And I kind of like just did a swatch on my palm of a foundation, the Mermaid eyeshadow, and the lipstick, and I did it on like both palms. One had the like primer on and the other one didn't, and I let water run on my hand for 20 seconds, and honestly, like even on the side without the primer, the makeup stayed pretty well. So I don't know, it's like one of those things where I felt like, is there really a point to having a waterproof primer unless you're like jumping in like a swimming pool and you're swimming with makeup on, but that's not something I'm interested in. So yeah, that kind of ability for it to be waterproof, I felt like it might not even be necessary because my makeup stays on pretty well. But I went ahead and did like a smudge test to see maybe if like it prevented smudging when things were waterproof. So I smudged the side that didn't have the primer, and obviously it smudged. And then I like pulled my finger and saw if like the other side with the primer would smudge, and it also smudged. So I didn't really find like a purpose for this. It's breaking me out, and there's no qualities to it that would make me want to use it up. So I'm gonna just see if one of my friends would like to try it out. But yeah, otherwise there's just nothing. This primer just doesn't interest me. All right, on a more fun note, this glitter liner. This was so pretty. I feel like I've been slightly intimidated by this liner. I don't often use it, and I think it's because I'm always like, oh, I have to have like a really like purposefully intense blue outfit or something to pull this out. But honestly, this just gave the prettiest like turquoise touch, and it just went with everything. And I also found out that like I had a full blue eyeshadow, like deep ocean kind of vibe eyeshadow look, and I had this on, and I noticed that like even though in the tube it just kind of looks like a turquoise with a bit of gold sparkle, I noticed that when I had it on the eyes, like the outer edge looked like a deep bluey purple, and I just don't see that in the tube. And so I was kind of surprised. I was like, is this like a duochrome or a multichrome? I wasn't like, I didn't realize that about this product. And then I did another eye look afterwards, which was like a more green heavy eye look, and then I just put this blue as like a pop of blue liner. And in that one, I also saw like the deep bluey purple on the outer corner. It's so pretty. So this really does have a shift to it, which is so much fun. And honestly, this product is just so interesting. The fact that you can like peel off the liner. It's so good for like cleanup. I wish like there was more like formulas like this for liners because it's just so cool and it's just so easy to use. So yeah, this was really fun. So I used this 4 times in April, and in 2021 I used it 3 times. So I actually used it more this month than I did in all of last year. Okay, this honey pink lipstick was such a roller coaster ride. So initially I put it on and I applied it like in an opaque layer, and I was like, this is the most hideous color I've ever put on my face. Like, and I don't normally react like that. And I was like, wow, this looks really, really bad. But I was like, you know what? It's fine. Maybe if I mix it with something, it'll just adjust it. So I tried mixing it with the Pink Tokyo liquid lipstick from NYX that I've been panning, or the Dubai liquid lipstick from NYX that I've been panning. And neither of these could like adjust the color of this. Like it didn't look good when I mixed it with the pink, it didn't look good when I mixed it with the brown. Like it just wasn't looking good. And after those like attempts, I was like, I think I'm just gonna declutter this because it just looked that bad that I was like, there's no way I can make this work. And then I took a little bit of a break from it, and I went back and I applied it just on the center of my lips and then slightly blended it out, and then that was the only way that I could wear it, and it actually looked nice. So for the rest of the times that I wore it that month, I wore in that way where it's just like a touch of it in the center of the bottom of my lip and blend it out with my finger. And the natural color of my lip is mainly, what's showing, but then it has like this tint to it. And that looks pretty and it actually worked with all the colors and looked really nice. But yeah, there was a moment there where I was like, I might actually declutter this, but thankfully I was able to make it work by just applying a really sheer layer. I'll show you, I just applied it right now before the video just to have a picture because I didn't take pictures initially of this whole process. But I'll show you it opaque and it just does not suit my like cool olive undertones. It just doesn't work. Something about it clashes. But when I do have it in just a sheer layer, it gives enough of a tint but doesn't like overpower my lips that I'm able to make it work. So for now I've made it work and I can enjoy using it in that way, so I will keep it in my collection. But yeah, this one is a bit of a roller coaster. I wasn't planning to declutter anything in my collection in this series because everything that I have in my collection I've thought about quite thoroughly before it entered my collection, so I don't expect to declutter much, but it feels like this month like two things were really being tested, and this was a sample that I didn't even like technically choose to have, like it just came in a pack with what I actually wanted. While this one, I did choose this, but I tried to find, I remember being in the store when I bought this and I swatched all the pinks from the Maybelline line and, tried to find the one that had the most neutral undertone, and this was that, but it still pulls really weirdly like orangey, and the white pigment in it is also kind of strange. Like it just clashes with my undertone. So yeah, this one I'll keep it, but if I can find a home for it, I will also declutter it. Oh, I don't think I told you uses. I used it 6 times in April and only used it once in 2021. Because yeah, warm shades are not typically shades that I go for, and I'd often only use this mixed in with a red to kind of give it more of a peachy corally red vibe, so I wasn't as aware how like badly this looked on its own. And then I also had this Danessa Meyer's Color Fix Clear Glaze, and so I used this as a lip gloss, and I really loved it last year as just like a clear lip gloss, so I did use it 10 times in 2021. And then this month, like I wasn't really testing it, I just felt like I already knew I liked this on the lips. I did want to test it again on the eyes and the cheeks because I remember doing that once last year and hating it and then never trying it again. So I tried it again. There was this prompt on Instagram that was like a poisonous slime prompt, and so I did actually throw this all over the lid on top of Luxie, and it was a super cool effect, but unfortunately like it does break apart the eyeshadow underneath. So also, I put it over like the art that I did with the lime green that I made in my Suva Beauty eyeliner mixing video. So I did like a design with like the slime green kind of like dripping, and then I put some of this on top and it also dissolved that because those liners are water activated. So yeah, testing this out a little bit more, as I thought, it's really not meant for like putting it on the eyes or cheeks and having like a wearable eye look the whole day. It's more about just like for fun photo shoot moments, and I still love it as a clear gloss, and I feel like I would still always use it that way. So it's not like I don't like this product, I do. For it, like having it as a clear gloss, it's very nice. But it was good to play with it again and just make certain of that. Okay, so lastly we have eyeshadows. I used this Mermaid shade from NYX 3 times in April, and I only used it once in 2021, so I used it more times. I think the main thing that I learned about this is that it's more of a kind of glow from within iridescent than it is a sparkly iridescent. So it is actually really pretty on the inner corner because it just has this like soft velvet like glow effect rather than like a super sparkly inner corner, and so it's nice for times when I do want that kind of effect. Now for the Huda Beauty Emerald palette. So this color story is one of my favorites. I absolutely love greens, and in 2021 I reached for this palette 6 times, and in April I reached for it 9 times, which is really great. Usually when I reached for this palette before, it would always be for this like pastel mint. So I knew that this would be one of the most used shades in the eyeshadow palette this month as well. So I used this 4 times in April, and then in 2021 I used this shade 3 times. But what surprised me is that the other 2 most used shades in the palette I actually used them 4 times this month, but in 2021 I used them 0 times. But these are like absolutely beautiful shades. This brown is so nice. It's so interesting. Like you see how it just looks like a brown, you know, in the palette. I will show a picture of when I threw this in my crease with nothing else, and then like I put the palette near my eyes so you could see. On my light olive skin tone, it just turns into this beautiful cool toned olive shade. It's just so gorgeous. So yeah, this is a beautiful brown, and this shade, I liked using it to like deepen the lash line for a lot of my looks. So these 3 were the top used shades. I used them each 4 times. This one, do want to give it like an honorary mention because I used this 3 times, and again, it was one of those shades that I used like 0 times in 2021. So one of the things that happened was I used this like beautiful olivey gold shade, and then I topped it with Luxie, and it created the most beautiful multi-chrome. Like it had this gorgeous olive base, and then it shifted from like purple to pink to blue. I just did like a whole look using these 2 because it was just so stunning. So that was my kind of like grungy mermaid eye look. And then there was another prompt on Instagram for April, and it was called Fapril, so it was like a fairy effect. So I did like a butterfly wing, and I used all of the iridescent multi-chromes here. So I used this one and then glow, and then I also went in with this like very like flaky greeny gold iridescent shade. And I had the NYX mermaid shadow on the inner corner, and I went in and topped the Fenty Beauty Diamond Highlighter on the inner corner as well. So it was just like this super sparkly iridescent eye look. And then for the like actual outline of the wing, I used this matte blue shade mixed with Inglot Duraline. That look was just magical. Like, I don't know, it's just so cool that in some lightings, like you would only have part of the wing that was shining, the other part was like completely clear. It just looked like it gave like a stained glass and then just magical effects. So that was a really fun eye look. And then we already talked about the poisonous slime eye look. I did put Luxie all over the eyelid, and then I had this like deep indigo-y purple shade on the lash line, and then for the lime green, I used the one from the Siva Beauty palette. And you'll notice for all these looks, I actually used Luxie the most out of all of these eyeshadows. I used it 5 times. I just couldn't get enough of this shadow. It is so beautiful, and honestly, I feel so much more like in love with this shade than I even was before, because I just feel like it literally goes with anything that is cool tone. Like you can put it over anything and it just gives it such a gorgeous mermaid, cool, purple, greeny, blue effect. It's just really a beautiful shade. And actually, I should show you guys close up. I hit pan on this. How awesome is that? The next eye look, that was like my deep ocean blue eyes. I used this shade as a pastel inner corner. I rarely ever do just like a matte pastel inner corner, but I thought that would be fun, so I did use that there. I put the purple in the inner crease. This is not my favorite matte formula. This is actually from Clionadh before they stopped making their mattes. And the thing is, like, it looks so pastel in the pan, but on the eyes, it just kind of becomes like a bit darker and muted. And so I often avoid this eyeshadow, but it's not like bad if I go into it knowing that it's darker and it's not like an actual true pastel. So that is just something that I, got myself more comfortable with, because it's not like I hate the color, the purple that it ends up being. It's just that I'm always like disappointed that it's not what I see, and I just need to like remind myself that this is what it looks like. So I feel like I got a hang of it this month. I used this like periwinkle metallic that I made from the Give Me Glow video, and it's really beautiful. It's so smooth, so metallic. And then I used the Under the Sea Give Me Glow shade on the outer corner. It's just a beautiful deep blue. And I used this as the matte shade in the outer corner. And then I used the Mermaid glitter liner. And then I used glow on the center of the lid, and then I accidentally kind of took it too high and decided I may as well do an iridescent brow bone. I haven't done that in like years, I feel. And it was really pretty. It was a really nice, like, intense highlight, but it really gave a cool pop. Alright, then we have the mid-tone green mermaid eye look, and this one I used this kind of like gray-brown just to deepen the outer crease, and then I went in with the pastel mint shade on the inner crease. I went in with Mermaid, the NYX single, on the inner corner, and again, you can see from these pictures there's like a beautiful like glow, and I wanted to go in with this like mid-tone green all over the lid because I felt like I wasn't giving it enough love, and it is a really pretty like muted green. So I went with that all over the lid, and then I put on the Mermaid glitter liner. And yeah, just overall, this was another one of those looks. It just felt like every time I did a look this month, it was just a beautiful look. I was always like, oh, this is my favorite look. And then I was like, no, this is my favorite look. It's just these tones. I mean, I've always known that. The cool, like, blues, greens, purples look so good on my skin tone. And I just feel like so good in them. So the last two looks to discuss, I did because I knew that I had revenge in for this month. And I have a scarf that is like my favorite floral scarf. I knew that I wanted to create a nail set and an eye look, like a go-to eye look that whenever I'm wearing that scarf, I can just remember how to put that eye look quickly together. So I made the eye look and I made a nail set to go with it. So that is the other look that I did this month. For that one, I had Revenge all over the eyelid. I had this like gray brown in the crease. I had this like teal green as smudged as like a liner on my lash line. And then I got the white eyeliner from the Suva Beauty palette, and I did like a line from the inner corner to the center. And then I went in with Fairy Lights, which is like a white shimmery eyeshadow from the Silent Night palette, and I put that on the inner corner and on the inner lid. I feel like the white really ties it in because on my scarf I have like these white lines on the floral patterns and also on the nails, so I really needed like a white eyeshadow that wasn't here, so I did go and grab that one. But yeah, that was overall a really beautiful look, and it went gorgeously with the nails. Revenge looks so pretty on the nails. And then the last look was also related to nails. So the set I got from L'Oreal, the kind of mermaid sea set that I was wearing in the last Shop My Stash, I decided to do an eye look kind of centered around that. And so I used the mustard that I've created to dupe Dijon from Tasha Denona in the crease, and then I put CL all over the lid, and I had the Fenty Beauty highlighter both on the inner corner and on the cheek. It was such like a simple eye, but it was just so beautiful. And again, I was tempted to like throw the glitter liner on, but I was like, no, I have to let CL just have its moment to shine because it's a beautiful like muted blue to gold eyeshadow. So overall, this was a really fun month to play with these colors. I was aiming to try to pan this completely, but I wasn't able to. Honestly, you'd think these tiny pans would be easy to pan, but they're actually not. There's still quite a bit of product in here. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put everything back and then we can shop for the next theme. So usually for these themes, I shop near the beginning of the month, and then I like post a video midway through the month, but this time I'm actually shopping my stash closer to midway through the month. Now this is because first 2 weeks of May have been crazy. All my plans completely had to be changed. Basically, I was supposed to go in the second week of May to a conference, a scientific conference, and I got sick in the first week of May. And so it was just like the timing was horrible. And I was planning my Shop My Stash to actually be related to that theme. Like I was thinking maybe I would do like a science theme, or maybe like I would do like a professional makeup theme. So like luxury professional tones. Like I thought that would be fun too. So that was the plan, but then I literally got sick right in the first week of May, and so my plans got canceled. I wasn't going to the conference, and I just wasn't feeling like, shopping my stash or doing anything with makeup because I was just sick and stuff. So now I'm shopping my stash midway through the month, so I only have about 2 weeks to play with whatever the theme is that I select, which is why I thought I would go with the theme that I did want to have this year. I was thinking of leaving it closer to the end of the year, but I think I'll just do it now because it's something that I feel like I would be able to get a lot of use out of the products in 2 weeks. So I'm going to go for like a classic Hollywood star, like neutral glam type of collection that I'm going to build. And because they are neutral shadows, I don't feel like I'll feel as pressured to create many different eye looks in order to use all the shadows. Like, when you have so many colors like this, I feel like I had to think of many different types of eye looks in order to make sure I'm playing with everything. But when you have a bunch of browns, you can do one eye look and just use all of those browns together. So that's what we're going to be doing today. For the eye looks, it's going to be my prettiest neutrals, browns, golds. And then for the face, it's kind of going to be like, I have like Marilyn Monroe in my mind, or that kind of like classic Hollywood star look. So let's go ahead, put these back, and then shop my stash for that theme. Okay, so lucky me, one thing that happened this morning, like right before I was going to film this video, I got my Suva Beauty package, so I did purchase the black eyeliner, and I will explain in a future video why I got the black eyeliner in a pot, because if you notice in my last mixing video when I made the Huda Beauty color block palette by mixing things in my collection, there was no black in that primaries palette, so I'll explain the story in a future video, but yeah, so I'm back and I have the black now, and so I'm actually just going to go ahead and open this and use this for this month as my black eyeliner, because when I think of like a classic Hollywood star makeup look, I do think of like a black wing. Okay, now for the palette. So from my basket of palettes, I'm going to go for the CoverGirl Naked Nudes palette because, as you can see, it's full of those neutral browns. And then for highlight, I feel like you guys know if you saw my finale for panning this highlighter last year, but this is like the most beautiful neutral highlighter that I own, so it's very much like just a wet glowy effect on the skin, and so it would be perfect for this like very natural kind of look that I'm going for this month. And I think I'll also pull out Urban Decay Half Baked. It's just like your like classic satin gold. So we have the palette, the highlighter, an eyeshadow. I think I'll also throw in Midnight Cowboy, this like gold glitter liner. I feel like when I think of a classy like look, I always think of like a cool toned red, and so this is Ruby Woo from MAC, so I'm going to put this as my lipstick. And then for blush, I feel like I was looking at a lot of pictures of like classy looks, and honestly, blush is not very emphasized. Like, I feel like it's more a contour that's emphasized, like a matte contour on the cheeks. Now, I don't have a bronzer or contour. I had one of each, and I decluttered those because, you know, I always kept them in case I ever wanted, but the reality is I never use those products, and I never will. And so, in this moment, I'm like, well, okay, I can't use those. Maybe I could dip into the brown eyeshadows and play with that. But I was also thinking maybe, since I'm panning these two anyways in my Partners in Cream, I will go ahead and actually use these as cheek products this month. Like focus on them that way. So this one as a contour and this one as like a soft blush. Alright, and I think that's it for the Color Cosmetics. Of course, what we're going to do next is I'm going to take these single eyeshadows and we're going to go ahead and build the custom neutral eyeshadow to go with the palette that's in here. So I'm going to basically select the most beautiful neutral eyeshadows in my other palettes to pair with this palette. Alright, let's first go ahead and put all of these back. That was an actual struggle with these like medium coffin nails. Usually you guys see me wearing the short coffin nails, and those ones I have no problem like maneuvering eyeshadows and stuff, but these ones are just a tad too long. But I did want to wear them because I had made these before the short coffins came out, and so they're just like a really pretty neutral eyeshadow set, and I actually made them using Opulent from Cliona, so we will definitely be including that multi-chrome in the palette. But let me just take out the picture in this picture frame palette and slip the one in that we're going to have for this month. Alright, so I went ahead and slipped in the picture for this month. I did this because honestly, every single time a brand releases packaging that is like coffee or chocolate themed, I always am like, oh, I want that so badly just because of the theme. And so again, as you guys know from the picture frame palette concept, I use this as a way for me to be able to like scratch that packaging itch without actually buying new makeup for the packaging. So here the background is going to be a fun way for me to plop in my neutral eyeshadows and have them be like little treats in a box of chocolate. Now I will say if you're on Instagram and you're not following Swatching is My Cardio, she does amazing posts and she has done this kind of concept before but with like actual like chocolates. I think it was for Valentine's Day. It was so cute where she had like her eyeshadows in the chocolate box. So yeah, definitely check out her Instagram if you're on there. And give her a follow. She does really cool like swatch art on her Instagram. But yeah, let's just get started and put the shadows in here. So I'm not sure what happened here. I don't know why Opulent has lifted. It is quite fragile because when it first arrived to me from Cliona, it was pretty fragile. But I'm just gonna go ahead and press this part that has kind of lifted. Okay, I hope that can hold it together, but this is like, this just always happens with this eyeshadow. Because it happened to arrive a little bit shaken up. Alright, I'm gonna put it right there. Alright, next, let me think what else I want to add. Kind of want to put in Cathedral. It just has this really nice, like, brown, olive, rose gold tone to it. So I think I'll put in Cathedral. And then let's put in this gold. This is ornamental. Do I want to put anything else? I feel like the iridescence, like these ones, they're very colorful. Like the red, orange, gold is colorful. The hot pink, the greens, the blues, they're all very colorful. Maybe just like Gloaming. That one's kind of more neutral, but I still feel like the pink and the blue, like it's still colorful. I think maybe just Phoenix. Like Phoenix because it's mainly like this fiery orange and blue shift. It could work as a neutral. You know what? No, I'm not going to put in Phoenix. I'll save it for another month. I don't want to like overwhelm myself. I only have 2 weeks, as I said. But yeah, I think that's it for the multi-chromes. I am going to grab several shades from here though because I guess we're putting this one back in, the mustard. I'm always using this mustard, it's so nice, but like this kind of mustardy brown would go so well with any of these brown looks. Oh my god, how cute is that? It just went right on top of that sweet. Okay, and then what else? I think from this is like the gold palette that I duped by mixing. I'm going to also take this, which is like a gold, true gold. And then, this yellow brown. I do want to bring in this brown as well. Okay, let's see which of my sampled eyeshadows. Okay, definitely this like bronzy brown. Oh, okay, yeah, definitely Rose's Remix. This is the Give Me Glow eyeshadow. I'm just going to put the smaller pan in here because putting the large pan in here is a lot. Come on. I just remembered I recently bought this like magnetic thing. This should help. Struggling right now. Oh, but it's so strong. How do I get it off? How do I get it? How do I get it off? No. No. You guys just witnessed the tragedy. Okay. Okay. This get off. Truly struggling today, you guys. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, that was not good. Okay, at least that pressed nicely. I'm just gonna scoot these down and clean up. Okay, this is a little bit, the background's a little bit sparkly now, but I mean, it's fine. Okay, I like where this is going. Let's see if there's anything else I want to throw in here. Honestly, that like olivey brown that I really, really loved playing with from the Huda Emerald palette, I feel like it would be great in this palette as well. Yeah, it just gives like a different touch. And it would go really well probably with Cathedral. Maybe this neutral shade as well. Oh, actually, I totally missed this like camel brown. Yeah, that's a nice little addition there. I think I might take out this brown. This was from the Natasha and Nona gold palette that I made. How do we feel about this? I'm feeling like we do need like a white shade, or maybe the Phoenix shade would be pretty cool. All right, let's put the Phoenix shade in. Okay, I think we're good. I took a couple minutes to rearrange this. So we have like the Phoenix, the mustard, the like olivey brown, the yellowy brown, the roses remix like rose gold shade, the cool toned brown over here, the true gold, the bronzy brown. And then here we have the three multichromes, the like rose gold olive and brown multichrome, the gold to green kind of multichrome, and then this like mauve green like gold multichrome. I think you can see it on my nails. Just beautiful. So this is what we're working with. And it's a bit of a messy palette because two shades are pretty fragile, but I think I'm still going to have a lot of fun playing with this. And just to remember that this is going to be paired with this neutral palette, so I will have the black and the really dark brown to really kind of ground the looks, and I will have lighter shades to be able to blend out some of these colors. So I was focusing on more mid-tone, browny, caramel, gold kind of colors. But yeah, before we wrap up the video, of course, let's do some swatches. Wow, I really feel like this camera captures the shifts so well. We have a baby swatch of the baby pan. Let me see if I can give y'all a little more. That is Rose's remix. I mean, how stunning. It's a gorgeous metallic. So yeah, those are all the super special multichromes. I mean, we also have Phoenix, of course. I went ahead and also grabbed the Wet n Wild Roses in the Air palette because I do want to show you guys a swatch of this like camel brown. It's just such a cool tone of brown. I mean, it's a warm tone, but it's a cool, like it's an interesting tone. And then let's do a swatch of that olive brown. And maybe also this juicy shade from the Urban Decay palette. Alright, I am out of fingers to swatch things, and wow, these are beautiful. Like, do you guys see the shine on these? Look at Phoenix. So yeah, I'm gonna have a lot of fun playing with these brown eyeshadows this month, and also the basket of other products that give me that classic Hollywood star look. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing the mermaid update and then also enjoyed watching me shop my stash for this theme. If you like this video, please do give it a like. And if you like creative, conscious consumerism type content, please do subscribe. I have a lot of different things on my channel. I do lots of swatches for multichromes. I do mixing videos so that I can make unique shades like this mustard by mixing different eyeshadows. We use pictures in the picture frame palettes to have our own customizable fun packaging for palette color stories that we create here. So if you do enjoy that kind of content, I hope you do join the wonderful community that's been growing on here. That's it from me, you guys. I will see you in the next one. Bye.